Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for coming back, and thank you so much for visiting if this is your first time. Remember to like, comment and subscribe, as that always just makes me happy. So yeah, do that. So today I was thinking that I would go back to my roots, the reason why I started this channel, and that is talking about different topics in the music industry, or giving advice to people. And today I'm going to be talking about music genres or style of music. As a singer-songwriter or musician, I find that a lot of people ask, what style of music are you into? And I feel like that is a question that people should ask. They want to know so they can kind of understand what kind of music you make. But I do find that it's never just a one word answer anymore. You can't just say I'm a pop artist, or I'm hip hop, or I'm R&B. I feel like music these days is really kind of a mix of different genres. I don't think it really fits into a box anymore. And I think that question about genre of music or style of music really just try to put you in a box. And I'm finding that in the industry these days, you can't just describe somebody as one artist. We have artists like Ed Sheeran that, he does a bit of rap on there, he does a bit of folk, acoustic, pop. It's a big mix. So we're getting albums these days that are just not one thing. They're not, there's a lot of crossover, there's a lot of mix in there. And so it's just harder to say I do this style of music, because if you come expecting only one style, you're going to get a huge mix and you're going to get something completely different to what you expect. For example, on the Billboard charts, we have the Billboard charts. I think it's broken down into different subcategories. You have hip hop, Latin, dance, house, country, a whole bunch of different categories of music or charts of music. And I find that you might find somebody that is top of the popular music and they're also top of the country or Latin or hip hop. I feel like that's because these days it's just not one thing. It's just not one thing. Or you might see somebody in Latin and see them in hip hop as well. You're like, how is that happening? I feel like artists like Taylor Swift, for example, could be top of the pop's music and she's also top of the country music, right? And we have Nicki Minaj that's also top of like just the regular, music charts, and then topping like hip hop charts as well. I feel like that is what's happening these days, where music is just really, really intertwined. You might find an album like Rihanna, for example. You have dance music in there, you have popular music in there, you have R&B songs, you might have some Caribbean songs in there, and it's just, how do you put that artist into just one box? You just can't do that anymore. So I find that it's getting a lot harder to say this is kind of artist that I am. I find that that's really an archaic way of describing things, because a lot of people are just crossing over, a lot of people are mixing things. We have hip hop artists that are sampling country songs, country songs or classical songs, things that they've listened to, but then they put their rap spin on it. And you have like even Christian songs where people are rapping in that, and the rap might be so good that it might just be in the hip hop charts, but it's a Christian song. So I feel like it's harder to kind of describe music as just one thing. And I find that when I'm writing songs, I don't sit there thinking, okay, today I'm going to write a pop song or an R&B song or a soul song. It's just whatever comes out. And I find that a lot of the times you go into the studio with your song and you don't know what it's going to come out as. Obviously, I know I'm not a rock artist, so you're not going to find me doing rock music. That's not going to happen, because I don't do rock music. But you might have some rock influences in the music, in the instrumentals, right? And certain things like that. It's harder to say that. So I feel like as an upcoming artist, or anybody that's kind of starting out in music, don't spend too much time trying to figure out what genre you fit into. Let them figure it out when you get your album out and your songs are ready. Let them figure it out, right? Do what feels good to you, do what sounds good to you, do what influences you, and put your own spin on things. If you want to do like a grime song, or I find that these days we have a lot of grime artists or like UK artists, that are giving you some Afrobeat vibes in there, because all of us are a mix of different cultures and we are surrounded by a lot of different cultures and we like a lot of different things, so we just kind of do what feels good, what sounds good, and a lot of stuff happens in your head and you just kind of translate that to your music and put that on the track, and it's just magic. And I feel like that's why we no longer should be putting people in boxes of this is kind of music that they make, because that's no longer the case. So yeah, I think when it comes to genre, no longer relevant. I think just do what you like to do what feels good to you, do what sounds good, and that's really it. Yes, you might be able to fit into sub-genres. You might be described as an artist that's you do acoustic folk music and soul music, and R&B. You can be anything really these days. Your music can be anything, because people that love acoustic might come, people that love folk music might come, people that love R&B might be like, oh wow, I love his vibe on things or her vibe on things. And I just feel like that's why it's just harder to say this is who I am. I think that you might just, if somebody asks you what genre of music do you belong to, you just say, oh yeah, I'm influenced by a lot of things, I love different styles of music, and that comes out in my music. So we shouldn't really waste time on trying to define ourselves and put ourselves in a box. And I feel like that's what people try to do all the time. I don't think any of us fit into one box or one specific thing, and I think we shouldn't do that anymore. So yeah, that's really my take on genres really. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will be coming back to you guys with something else, something new, some new music, and yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys. Bye.